Good morning, students. We had a very detailed deliberation in the previous two classes on material related topics. Now, more half an hour, we'll complete the material remaining concepts. Then we'll take up the next topic, that is labor. Yes, very good morning, Mohan Raj, Vikas, Rajveer, Deepika, Pratiksha, then Gunjan Devi, Divya, Aditi, Riddhi, Mustafa, Linga R, Tamarai Selvi, Neeraj, Himanshu, Ishwarya, Himanshi. Very good morning to all of y'all. So, in the previous class, we were discussing the level-wise discount concept, right? So, let us proceed from here. Anybody, any questions in any of the pointers that we discussed till now? So, we have reached up to level-wise discount sums. Okay, Neeraj has asked me, sir, what is cost center? See, in the subject of costing, we have different terms linked with the word cost. Like we have cost object, which is your product, your service. We have cost unit, that is the quantity for which the costing is done or the cost is to be expressed. Like whether you want to express cost per piece of pen, or you have to express cost per packet of your cookies, or you have to express cost per can of oil. So the quantity for which the costing is done, for which the cost has to be expressed, is cost unit. Now similar another term is cost center. Firstly, center, what is the meaning of this term? The word center represents anything, any person for which you can accumulate and calculate the cost. Now, this may sound a bit very vague, but first let me give you this generic term that it is a place. I'm trying to first explain what is a center. So, center is a place, a person, an equipment, any of these things for which cost is ascertained. Now, what it will mean? So, let us say I want to today know what is the cost of one of my branches. So, when I am doing this type of costing, see, understand this, a branch is not my product. So I cannot call my branch as a cost object. It will be wrong because cost object is my product service for which costing is done because I want to find out the price so that I can charge and sell it. But many times for the purpose of internal management, for the purpose of cost control, we find out cost for many things. Like, as I said, I want to know cost of running a branch because I want to take a decision whether this branch is profitable, whether I should continue this branch. So many times I have to do costing of a branch. In that case, as I said, it cannot be called as a cost object. Though you are doing costing of a branch, but you are not going to sell it. It is not your product. It is done for some internal control purposes. So in such cases, this branch will be called as your cost center. Why? It is a place for which you are computing the cost. Similarly, let us say in coaching academies, like in case of our this LVC class, we have multiple faculties. Now, many times when your work is person driven, you would, same like a branch, would like to know what is the cost per faculty. Again, to identify if I'm spending something behind a person, ठीक है, that person is the most important person, that person is necessary for my business or my business is fully dependent on that person, everything is fine. But again, from the purpose of understanding how much I'm incurring behind that faculty, now I'll find out cost for that faculty. Again, the faculty is not my product. In that case, I will call faculty my cost center. So in that case, we are doing costing of a person. Similarly, instead of a person where my work is done by different machines. So let us say I use different types of machines and I would like to know what is my cost of running, let us say, a lathe machine, which is doing some type of an activity. So I now do costing of this lathe machine. Again, this machine is not my product. So you can say whatever are your business resources. See, your business resources are these. Either it can be a place or a person or an equipment where you are doing costing. That is, you are ascertaining the cost of that place person. The only thing it difference is it is not like your product because your not intention is to sell it. That is what is beta a cost center. Neeraj, I hope it is clear and it is also clear to everyone. Yes, Ishwarya. Now, Ishwarya is asking a particular question relating to what we just studied and solved in the previous class, that is the level-wise discount sums. Now, the question is, in level-wise discount sums, will we be calculating EOQ? Generally, the answer is no, because in case of level-wise sums, what we did in the previous class, you do not get your EOQ because here what answer you will get is wherever the total cost would be lowest out of all these options, that level will be called as the most economical level. If you read the question also that we solved, the question also specifically asked what is the most economical level. So you are right, beta, Ishwarya. There is no EOQ, that is, there will be no quantity where the cost will equate. Now, there is one mathematical possibility that if let us say this is coming as the most economical level, now you can take this price and taking this price, you can find out an EOQ. See, the basic challenge in EOQ calculation in this type of question was that with different level, the prices were changing. And since the carrying cost, which is a percentage, was linked to price, the carrying cost was changing. If carrying cost is changing, how will you use the formula? But once you fix up a price out of these, then definitely for that price, you can find out mathematical and EOQ, and that is the point where it will equate. But generally, the answer for these sums is not finding out EOQ, that is one quantity, it is finding out a level. Fine, Ishwarya? Okay. Now, let us proceed. Now, if you remember, in our topic, we have to study different types of control techniques. These are called as inventory control techniques, out of which the major one is EOQ, and then the second one is stock level. Now, what is this stock level technique? Let us try to understand. So, what is this stock level technique? Now, let us say this is the box in which I am storing my material. So, the materials are kept and stored here. This is my box. Yes, Hina, I'll do it. Now, in this box, where the material is stored, we mark some levels. What are these levels? As we all know, let us say you can see this in those transparent boxes where anything is stored, especially like oil, etc., when it is stored in some glass or plastic box or anything which is kept in a transparent box. We can put marking like this. Even on your water bottles nowadays, you have markings. Now, these markings represents level. What is the level? Ki how much material is there inside. Like in case of your water bottle, you'll have levels of 200 ml, then 500 ml, then liter, then 2 liter, etc. So that you have an idea how much water you are going to consume. Now, similarly, the place where you store your material, that place is called as a bin. So it may be a dabba, right? Like how you have in your kitchen. Again, just see everything from your kitchen's perspective. You'll understand all concepts very easily. So the dabba in which I'm storing my material, that dabba is my bin. Now, what is stock level? It simply means you have to find out different types of levels, which will be something by these names. Now, when we find out stock levels, these different stock levels, our purpose is not simply calculating this and marking it on my dabba or on my bin. Our purpose is to take some action on the basis of this stock level. Means what? See, we are studying control of material cost. We are studying specifically the techniques which are called as inventory control. Now, inventory is also your stock. Now, many times in your business, you have problems either because there is too high a stock, so which is leading to unnecessary blocking of your space, blocking of your money, and also when there is high stock, there are more chances of losses. So a very high stock is not a good sign. Similarly, a very low stock can be very dangerous. Why? Because there is a risk that your production, your work can be stopped anytime because the stock may become zero. Now, in such a case, in order that we maintain our stock at a proper level always, how to do that? For that, you have this technique called as the stock level technique. That is, yes, Pratiksha. So that is the techniques where you fix up these levels. Now, obviously, as you can know, maximum level is the level which is your highest level. So what is my action? If my stock reaches this, what is the action point I will be taking? I will be taking the action point of stopping the purchase. Most important level is this reorder level. What is reorder level? It is the level where once your stock reaches, you know that I have to place the next order. That is, it is now my correct time to order the next quantity. Then you have the minimum level where you have to become cautious because now the stock is falling and it can reach a danger level. And if it is at a danger level, you have to go to the market and make purchases on immediate emergency basis. Otherwise, your work will stop. So these are the different stock levels. Now, basically in the stock level question, what you are asked is mathematically, you have to simply calculate these levels. That's it. However, in reality, the purpose of stock level is you fix up these all levels, which are then put as markings on your bins. And then as your stock is moving up and down in the bin, you take these action points for each stock. This ensures that you should always carry a proper stock. This is what is the purpose of stock level technique. Now here it is simply calculating the different stock levels, right? Now, in this, there are two types of sums. One is a sum where along with EOQ, You are asked only one stock level, which is the most important out of this, that is this one. Or the second is, along with EOQ, you have all stock level. So there are two types of sums. See, EOQ is now anyways, we have studied. So EOQ is now we all know. So it is not mainly a sum where EOQ is only important. Here now the sum also requires you to calculate stock levels. The only difference is either it can be one stock level, which is ROL, or it can be all stock levels. Now we'll say, sir, okay, what is the difference between EOQ and only ROL and EOQ and all stock levels? The difference is in this sum, one, you calculate EOQ as per whatever we have studied till now. Second, when you calculate ROL, the formula for calculating ROL here, and then again in these sums, you calculate EOQ, and then you calculate all the stock levels. Again here, when you calculate ROL, the formula for ROL here and the formula for ROL here are different. That is why I have made it into two type of questions. One only EOQ with ROL and one is EOQ with all stock levels. Why two type of sums? Because in both sums, this ROL has a different working. I hope this is clear to everyone. Mohan Raj, see, EOQ is related to how much quantity you will go and purchase from the market in one order. And stock level is how much quantity is balance in your bin, and on the basis of that balance, what action you should take. So that is the difference between the two concepts of EOQ and ROL. Fine, Mohan Raj? Okay. Now, what is the requirement for calculating these stock levels? Whenever you have to calculate stock levels, we need two type of information or data. First is the lead time and the second is the consumption. Now, what is this? Let us understand. Firstly, what is lead time? Students, this is a very common term which you will get in many other chapters also. And every time the lead time may mean a different thing. So let us first understand conceptually what is lead time. So lead time is basically a time gap between two things. Now here in this chapter, when we are saying lead time, it means we are talking about lead time which is for the purchasing function. So there is lag time for manufacturing function. There is lag time for every function. Now, what is lag time? It is the time gap. Now, here when I'm saying it is lag time for purchasing, it is time gap between what? Two things. One, when you have placed the order, and second, when you receive the order. Now, please understand the difference. What is this difference of placing order and receiving order? So, I order my rice from Punjab. My rice does not comes from my place. I bring it from or I get it from Punjab. Now, in such a case, the supplier from whom I am getting rice is sitting in Punjab. Today, if I put him a call or if I put a mail and tell him that boss, send me the next EOQ quantity, then it will not reach me immediately. It may reach me in fastest 2 days, or it may reach me in latest 7 days. So either earliest or latest. Now we always have this type of timelines. Firstly, this 2 days, this 5 days is what is my lead time for purchasing. What is lead time? Today, if I place the order, in how many days will I receive that material in my factory? Now, this is my minimum lead time. This is my maximum lead time. And then you are smart enough to know that whenever there is minimum maximum, your match always says, okay, Baba, so tell me what is the average. And average we know it is maximum plus minimum upon 2. So here it will be something like 3.5. So what is lead time? It is the time gap. Then comes consumption. Now, Consumption, we all know how much material is used in production. That is what is consumption. Now, if your lead time is given in days, now these are days, 2 days, 5 days, 3.5 days. So consumption has to be taken as per day. If your lead time is given in weeks, so let us say where the material is coming from outside India, generally the lead time is expressed in weeks, that it will take 5 weeks, it will take 4 weeks, it will take 10 weeks. So in that case, the consumption has to be taken per week. So depending upon how lead time is given, consumption has to be taken. Now, what is this consumption? In a day, how much material quantity I will be using for my production? Now, let us say when the season is slack, I use 20 kgs in a day. And when we have a peak season, we use 75 kgs per day. So this is my consumption per day, minimum 25, 25, let us say, and maximum 75. Again, being a student of maths, you know that average of this will be 50 kgs. So you first need this data for computing your stock levels. Now, whenever the sum is EOQ with only one stock level, the formula that is given for this ROL, that is reorder level, is average consumption multiplied by average lead time. This is the formula. So how will I find out my reorder level? It is average consumption into average lead time. Along with this, if the sum has given, you will have to also add to this the quantity called as safety stock. So the reorder level by this formula, where only ROL is asked, in that case, the formula for reorder level is this. Correct? Let us take this as an example to understand. See, so I'm taking question number 19. SC Enterprise manufactures a special product called as Z. The following particulars are collected for the year. Annual consumption given is 1200 units. Now they have particularly mentioned in bracket days. Why? Because now whenever stock level is required, you will require consumption per day, per week. So in order that you can calculate the per day consumption, they have mentioned this. And we all know year is of 365 days. But many times in the question, they will say that how many days you have to consider. So like here they have said 360. In some question, they may say 300. Why 300 or how 300? If you exclude holidays, then your working days comes to that only. That is how they may give you 300. Then you have your other details given, like this is carrying cost, cost per unit. So this is your purchase price. Now we all know this multiply by this will give me my carrying cost per unit per annum. So it will be 24 paise. Then I have cost per order, that is my O. Now all this data is required for calculating my reorder quantity, which is my EOQ. That you can do it on Calci. My interest is in explaining you the new concept, that is calculating your reorder level. So firstly, students understand what is reorder level. So reorder level is the quantity which when your stock will reach that quantity. See, as we discussed in the previous class also, your stock is continuously being consumed. So the graph of stock is coming down. So how much quantity is balanced in stock is reducing day by day because you are consuming the stock. The moment your stock reaches that quantity, which is called as reorder level, you know now that, okay, I should place the next order so that my stock reaches in time. That is the time by which I will be consuming it. Very good, Hina beta. So Hina has already given me the EOQ. Now, I want to find out reorder level. So reorder level, as I gave you the formula, is average consumption into average lead time. Now, Importantly, students, remember this word. Now, in our costing questions, many times you would be given the data with the name normal. What is this normal? Normal is what we expect to happen regularly. So when they are saying normal leg time, it means the leg time which you are expecting that this will happen generally. This will happen normally. This will happen regularly. That is what is normal. Important. Whenever the question has given normal, so instead of taking average, you will take normal because that is what is going to happen regularly. But if the sum had not given me normal, I would have calculated the average and then the average is assumed to be normal. Just remember this. You'll understand what I mean very soon. Now, how to calculate my reorder level? I just gave you a formula. Average consumption multiplied by average lead time plus safety stock. Now, my lead time is in days. So I have to calculate average consumption per day. How will I calculate my average consumption per day using this data? So first I will find out my average consumption per day. It will be my annual consumption. How much I consume in a year? 12,000 units. And the year is of 360 days. So you can find out your per day consumption. Tell me students how much it is. Great. Riddhi has given me. Vikas, how are you getting 500 beta? Yes, Hina, correct. Satish, correct. Right. Deepali, Gunjan, Divya, very good. Tamare Selvi, very good. Yes. Priya, how you are getting 32.87? It is simply 12,000 upon 360, not 365. Students, be clear. Vikas, so wait now, why you are making a haste? I just asked the first question. Good, Geeta. Yes, good, Satyajit. Okay. So my average consumption per day is coming 0.33.33 recurring. Now, multiplied by what is my normal or average lag time given? It is 15 days. But they have also given me some data for safety stock. Now, students, what is safety stock? Safety stock is that stock which you will always try to maintain for some type of unexpected circumstances. Like your truck should reach in 15 days. We know our lead time is 15. But like nowadays, because of heavy rains, or in certain areas there are landslides, or in certain places there is some flood type situation. So if your truck gets stuck up somewhere, then your material should not be delayed. Obviously, it is going to be delayed, but then your stock should not become zero. So you'll keep some extra stock, buffer stock, that is also called as safety stock. Now, many times a safety stock may be given directly as a quantity that keep 500, keep 1000, or they will express safety stock also as how many days consumption you should keep as safety. So they are saying you should keep 30 days consumption in safety. So 30 days again multiply by per day consumption. So as Vikas had already given me the answer, I'm putting down that answer. So this is coming as 500. This is coming as 1000. It means my reorder level is 1500 units. Yes, Vikas. Not 100 beta, 1000. Which means, which means that when will I place my order? I will place my order. See if I have to explain it from this point of view. That when my stock, because every day my stock is being used, it is going outside my bin, it is being consumed in productions, and it is coming down every day, right? So the moment my stock reaches 1500 units, that is this level, which we have called as ROL, immediately I will ask my purchase manager to place the next order. So that is what is the meaning relevance of reorder level. Yes, Satyajit. Correct, Geeta. No, beta. AR Pratiksha is not divided by 360 into 365. AR will remain 12,000. As I said, na, they will give you 361 either to avoid any complicated decimal calculations or because practically your factory may not be working for 365, which is correct. No factory works for 365. So Pratiksha, AR for all calculations will be 12,000 only. You don't have to convert it. Yes, correct, Satish. Fine. Now, so we understood what is stock level in this type of question where only reorder level is asked. Now I take you to the question where they are asking you all stock levels. So this is that question where all stock levels are asked. Now where all stock levels are asked, how you understand? Simply in the question they will say that you have to calculate all stock levels. Now in this, one of the stock levels, though not mentioned, but we can calculate or we should calculate is also average stock level. Again, wherever maximum minimum comes, we all know that there is one more stock level, which is the average, right? Now, here your formula for reorder level will be slightly different. So let me just show you the formula here. So whenever the sum has all stock levels asked, interestingly, the formula is slightly different. See the formula given. So see, this was the first formula which we discussed. But when this formula should be used, this formula should be used only when the question asks you reorder level, no other levels. But when the question is asking you all the stock levels, then the formula for this reorder level is interestingly very different. Now it is maximum consumption multiplied by maximum lead time. And then you have the other formula, maximum level, which is ROL plus ROQ. ROQ means EOQ. So it is ROQ or EOQ, whatever, minus minimum lead time into minimum consumption, etc. Student, just take a screenshot. I know you all have this now sheet also uploaded that day itself, but still take a screenshot so that once I'm on the page of question, you need not always scroll and come back. So just quickly take a screenshot. Done. So student, this is going to be our formula for computing different stock levels. This is a very easy part. You have to simply apply the formula and find out the stock levels, right? Okay. Now, when all these stock levels are asked, you should always first calculate two things. One is calculate your EOQ. Why? Because that is asked in one of the stock level formula. And in all the stock levels, you should always first calculate ROL. Why? Because ROL is the basis for finding out maximum and minimum both. Correct? Now, what is the data given? The reordering quantity, again, which means what? EOQ, is to be calculated on the basis of following information. So they have given you the information, cost of placing order, which is O. Number of units to be purchased during the year, that is AR. Purchase price, 550. Annual storage cost is 5. So C is given. All data is given. On the basis of this, you can find out your EOQ. Then they have given you details of lead time, average given, maximum given, minimum given. So all data is given. And also, if you want to make purchases on emergency basis, the lead time is given. Interestingly, for consumption, they have given only average and maximum, but we will require minimum consumption also. So students, now you will give me two things. This is our preparatory thing so that we can calculate the stock levels. One is EOQ and one is the minimum consumption. Great. I've already have the answers. Because after reorder, then you can find out any level. Okay, so I believe because the answer that you have given me is of minimum consumption. Give me two answers, students. One is EOQ, one is minimum consumption. Okay, Rajveer has given, Vikas has given, Deepika. So you are giving me what? Satish, 20, I don't think is EOQ. Please check it is 20, 200. Yes, Riddhiben. Hina, good. Yes, Pooja, correct. Yes, Satyajit. Yes, Deepika. Deepika, minimum you are saying is 25. Okay. But Riddhi is saying 10. Let me see. Papre, Tamara Selvi, 20,000 EOQ. Your AR is not so much. How can EOQ be 20,000? Please check, recheck your calculation. No, Mustafa. I don't think this is correct. Okay, Vikas. Yes, Divya. Geeta, again, please check. Is it 20? Is it 200? Students, now these are simple mechanical calculations. How do you find out EOQ? 2 into AR, which is 5,000, into O, which is 20, upon C. Here C is given already rupees 5. So by doing this working, you will get, if I'm not wrong, 200 units. Students, be clear with the workings. Yes, Deepika. Gunjan, correct. Yes, Shamli. Yes, Rajveer, Bada. Correct, Himanshi. Sorry, Himanshu. Nikhil Kumar, correct. Harsh, correct. What Vikas I need to explain, beta, for EOQ? EOQ is done by this formula 2 into AR into O upon C. We have done now more than 20 sums on EOQ, beta. So 2 multiplied by AR into O upon C, and this whole is under root. So it is coming as 200, Vikas. Now, students, how do you find out minimum consumption? See, again, simple maths. They have given you average consumption. Now, on the basis of this average consumption given, you should be able to find out your minimum. So how do you find out average, students? Anything average is done by this minimum plus maximum upon 2. Now average is given 15, correct? Maximum is given 20. Minimum I don't know, upon 2. So I'll make this formula. Now 2 will come on this side, so this will become 30. This 20 will come this side, so this will be subtracted. So I will get my minimum consumption, which is coming as 10 units. Correct, na students? Correct, Shamli. Yes, Satish. So now majority of you all have got it right. So my two answers are EOQ 200 units and my minimum consumption 10 units. Now I will start using the formula. Now the reorder formula. Now see, in this question, the reorder formula is different as compared to the previous one. So the previous one, the reorder formula was average into average plus safety stock. Now the reorder formula has changed. It is maximum consumption multiplied by maximum lead time. So see, this is what you have to keep in mind in which type of question, what formula has to be used. So in this question, the formula used for ROL is this. So students, what is my maximum leg time? It is 15 days. What is my maximum consumption? It is 20. So 15 into 20. Yes, rightly given to me by Ishwarya, Shamli, Riddhi, Nikhil, Pooja, Vikas. Yes, you all are giving me right answers. Gunjan, it is 300. Yes, Sony, correct. Priya, correct. Very good. Yes, Abhijit, correct. Prajot, right. Aditya, correct. Mustafa, correct, beta. Yes, very good. Everyone. Deepika. So now my reorder level is 300 units. Now I'll go to maximum level. It is what reorder level plus EOQ, ROQ, whatever it is, which we have already calculated, 200 units minus minimum consumption into minimum lead time. So this is my reorder, sorry, this is my maximum level. Reorder level plus EOQ or ROQ, whatever you can call it, minus minimum consumption into minimum lead time. Yes, very good, Riddhi. So Riddhi has given me the answer. Pratiksha, wow. But slight change, beta, maximum level. Can you recalculate, Pratiksha? Super. Pratiksha has given me already all answers. Very good, Mohan Raj. Yes, Linga R. Very good. Yes, Pooja. So students, this is coming as 440 units. Then for minimum level, what is the formula? The formula is ROL minus average consumption into average lead time. Now for minimum, it is ROL minus average into average. Yes, very good, Riddhi. Nikhil, please recheck your calculation. Shamli, correct. Hina, very good, beta. No, beta. It is not ROL divided by EOQ. In maximum level, it is ROL plus EOQ or ROQ. It is not ROL, it is ROQ. And it is not divided by, it is option like this or this, whatever is given in the question. Fine, Pratiksha, beta. So it is not ROQ divided by EOQ. It is option. Either you take ROQ or EOQ. So we take EOQ only. Yes, Deepika, correct. Pooja, correct. Very good. Harsh, Ria, super. Mustafa, Satish, Harsh. Harsh, recheck max level, min level, both are to be rechecked at your end, beta. Yes, Atyachya, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Achaya. Achaya, is it right pronunciation, beta, of your name? Achaya. Very good, everyone. So it is 150 units. Now, one thing which is to be recalculated is average level, which is maximum level plus minimum level upon 2. So these two added upon 2 is your average level. Now, there is one more interesting formula of average level. It is minimum level plus half of ROQ. ROQ again means ROQ or EOQ. So there are two formula for average level. This is the regular average formula. This is the special average formula. So it's Achaya, correct? What it means, beta, Achaya? Wow, Riddhi has given me further answers also. Abhijit, correct. Perfect, Gunjan. Your understanding is perfectly right. Very good, Ishwari. Achaya says 295. I think you are giving me average, but correct. So, average, many people are now giving me the answer. This average is coming as 265, or the second average. I think the second average is coming as 265. This should come as 295. Yes, so this average is 295. Okay, and then danger level, students, it is average consumption into lead time for danger purchases. Danger means you can call it as, instead of danger, let me give you a proper or better word, it is emergency purchases. So it is average consumption into lead time for emergency purchases. So yes, rightly again given answer by so many of you all. So Harsh has given me the answer. Many people have given rather. Deepika, please correct your answer, but it is not right. Harsh, please recheck. You are saying maximum level should be 450, not 440. Okay. No, Satyajit, 1180 cannot be the level. Danger level will be very less than all the other levels. So see, how much is your lead time for emergency purchases? Only 4 days. And what is your average consumption? Your average consumption is 15. 15 fours are 60. So this is coming as 60. Correct? 60, correct. Very good. Very good, everyone. Chalo, so now you all are now experts in this. Right, students? Fine. So let me just complete the remaining concepts so that we'll be able to complete our major part of materials practical. Now there is a very beautiful concept of inventory control called as ABC analysis. Now what is ABC? Many people say that it is a short form where they give the long form as always better control. Now this is the long form given by some, but this is not correct because ABC is not a short form. Yes, you have another chapter in your subject that is ABC costing where it is dealing with overheads, where ABC has a long form, but that is in overheads. In materials, there is actually no short form, long form called as ABC. Medha is saying, good morning, sir. My link was not working, so I missed half of the class. Don't worry, Medha. You can do it through the recordings. Anyways, in next 5 minutes, I'll be going to the new topic. So even if you have missed the initial part, that you can cover up in your this recorded version. So in next 5 to 10 minutes, we'll be anyways going to the next topic. Himanshu is asking, what is the difference between regular average level and special average level? See, there is no difference, beta. Like, in average, we have simple average, weighted average. So here also you have two formulae given. Obviously, both formulae will give different answers. When you are getting different answers, it is not that one is correct, one is incorrect. It is different way of calculating average. So as you have different averages in the form of simple and weighted, here also you have different averages. Somebody was asking me whether this some level will always be more than EOQ. There is no such thing, beta. So there is no compulsion that one level will always be greater than EOQ. That is just mathematics in some cases. Yes, if you talk about levels, as I've given in the diagram, the highest will be maximum, lower than that will be ROL, lower than that will be minimum, and the least would be danger. So this will be the sequence always when you come to level. But comparing it with the EOQ quantity, you cannot say that this will always be higher or this will always be lower. That depends upon the mathematics of the given question data. Fine. Now, what is this ABC analysis? So firstly, some authors, some books say that the long form of ABC is always better control, but this is a created long form. There is no such long form as far as the concept is concerned. Then what is ABC analysis? Now, please understand this. These are the two main techniques of controlling your inventory and the material cost. But applying both the techniques to all the materials in your kitchen, which will be, if you just try to get the number of materials in your kitchen, it would be more than 5050. And if you go to an industry, the number of materials required, let us say I am Mahindra and Mahindra company making those Mahindra SUV cars, which is today in a lot of trend. Now in one SUV car, I will be requiring around 486 parts, different small and big parts. Now, I do not have only one model, I have multiple models, and for different models, my some parts are different. So if I count all the parts for all the models, it may go more than 900 to 1000 parts. Now, for each 1000 part, I have to calculate EOQ, and for each 1000 parts, I have to calculate each of the stock level and also take the action at each of the stock levels. Practically, it is very difficult to control all the material using these two techniques fully. So, what is the technique? The technique is you classify the material into three categories. So, ABC is not a short form. ABC represents three categories. Like during our school days, I don't know what happens today, but during our school days, we had divisions in our schools called as Division A, Division B, Division C. And somehow there was a bias. Why? All the studious and the very high scoring students, that is above 90s, would be kept in A. Then those students who were between 70s to 90s would be kept in B. And then students like me who are very notorious, not very interested in studying, always interested in sports, drama, music, etc., were kept in C. So that was this ABC, you can say, is flowing from generations. Here also, ABC is that those materials which are high in their value, and interestingly, you'll observe that those which are very high in value, they are generally lesser in quantity. Like in your kitchen also, you will find that materials like kesar, material like dry fruits, materials like elaichi, all these which are high in value are normally maintained less in quantity. Opposite to that, you will find those materials which are less in value and they are generally very high in quantity. So the basic rice, the wheat, the maida, all these which are low in pricing, low in value, they are generally maintained 10, 20, 15 kgs. And then you are having those materials which are somewhere in between value and also in between quantity, like dals, like the high price rice, like the premium rice, then certain types of high price vegetables, which are not very high, and the quantity also is maintained medium. Now, they say that you classify your materials into these three batches, like how we used to have in schools, three divisions. Now, you will find that where you take up all the materials. So let us say I'm having total 1000 items in my stock because I require different parts and total of all the different types of parts. If I number them, I require 1,000 items for making all the different types of SUVs. I'll find that out of 1,000, hardly 10 to 30% of quantity, that is maximum between 100 to 300 quantity, are those items who value wise are around 60 to 70%. So if I take the total number of items in inventory, let us say it is 1,000, and the value of these items is, let us say, coming as 10 lakh rupees. Now, A will cover those material items whose quantity is between 10 to 30% of total, but whose value is going in 60 to 70% of total. Similarly, opposite happens here. We take in C those items which are between 10 to 30% in value and 60 to 70% in quantity. And then here, those who are somewhere in between, that is quantity wise also, value wise also, they are not very high or not very low. Now what happens when you classify your material items into this category? You'll find that very less items are here, very high items are here. And then they say exercise highest level of control here. What is highest level of control? Apply EOQ also, apply all stock levels. Here they say apply minimum control. So maybe you will only use EOQ. And here they say apply moderate control. So you will calculate EOQ plus only one stock level, which is ROL, which is the most important. Now, by doing this, since these are less in quantity, you can apply all the controls here. And interestingly, by controlling less quantity, you get highest cost under control, which is 60 to 70%, which is a very good quantity. Then here you have to apply moderate control. So again, it will be covering a good number, and also you'll be able to cover a good value. And here, even if you apply minimum control, and even if there is losses or wastages, why? Because you're not applying much control, still the losses will never be very high. Why? Because value wise, the materials are not so costly. So this is what is ABC analysis for stock control. Now, interesting analysis is for inventory control. That is controlling your items in your stock. Opposite to this is another similar concept, which is for production control. So when you are a production manager, you will classify your material into VED. V stands for vital, E stands for essential, D stands for desirable. Now, this classification of material is from the perspective of production control. Now, what is vital? Vital are those materials without which your production cannot happen. Like in my kitchen, interestingly, many of these C category items are actually vital, like your basic rice, your basic atta, your vegetables, salt. So many of your C and some of your B category items are actually vital, because without that, your production cannot happen. They are the most basic raw material. Essentials are those like premium rice, dals, etc., which are required, but they are not vital. Means you can do without them, but yes, if they are there, it is good. And desirables are those premium items which are just for show off, which is not at all required, but yes, you do this just to increase the value. So all these high price items like lychee, that is cardamom, then dry fruits, then kesar, all these are not compulsory. They are not either very important or not even required. They are just okay. If you have, it's good. Even if you don't have, that is fine. So interestingly, we have these type of categorization. Fine, students. And then coming to the last concept, that is turnover ratio. So we calculate different types of ratios for the purpose of control. And in this, we have this very important ratio called as inventory turnover ratio. We'll again study the turnover ratio in labor also. But right now in material, the turnover ratio is called as inventory turnover ratio. Now, what is the formula given for this inventory turnover ratio? In the numerator, you take raw material consumed, and in the denominator, you take average stock, obviously of raw material. Now, how do we find out raw material consumed? I'm sure you all would be knowing this formula: opening stock of raw material plus purchases minus closing stock. This gives you raw material consumed. And how you find out average stock? Taking same this opening and closing, that is opening stock of raw material plus closing stock of raw materials upon 2, you get average stock. Now, what is this inventory turnover ratio? How it is useful? So when you calculate this, let us say you get 5 as the answer. So we write it as 5 times. Now, what is this 5 times? Please understand, students, what is the meaning of turnover. Now, I'm sure as a student of accounts, the moment you hear this word turnover, you understand it as sales. But let me tell you, students, turnover does not mean sales. Even for that matter, purchase is also turnover. So don't have this impression that turnover will mean only sales. No. Then what is turnover? See, turnover is this. Can you see? So what is turnover? Turnover is movement. Turn over, turn over, turn over. Means the rotation. Means what? In a business sense, when we use the word turnover, we mean that this is the movement of my business. Now, if somebody asks, like in our day-to-day life, we ask, business kaisa chal raha hai? So, how do you answer? If somebody asks you, business kaisa chal raha hai? You say, मेरा दिन का 1,00,000 रुपए का turnover है. So anybody is asking about your business, you tell them your sales. That is how in accounts we have started using the word turnover for sales, because turnover means movement of anything. So movement of business, कि business कैसा चल रहा है, is always expressed as sales or at times as profit. कि भाई इतना प्रॉफिट होता है रोज का, इतना प्रॉफिट होता है मंथ का. This is how you tell कि मेरा business कैसा चल रहा है. But turnover does not only mean sales. Turnover means movement. Now here I want to see movement of my inventory. Now what is movement of my inventory? Please understand. I purchase the stock. So my stock level is here. Every day as I use, the stock level is coming down. Again, once it is zero, I purchase. Again, as I consume, it comes down. Once it is zero, I purchase. Again, it is being consumed. So this is the movement of my stock. Now, what is inventory turnover ratio? The inventory turnover ratio is how many times my stock has completed a cycle. What is the cycle? I have purchased the stock, it got consumed. One cycle. I purchased a stock, it got consumed. Second cycle. I purchased stock, it got consumed. So how many times this graph will form during a year is my inventory movement ratio, and hence we call it as times. So if my answer is coming as 5 times, it means I purchased, it got consumed. I purchased, it got consumed. I purchased, it got consumed. This happened 5 times. So we say that my inventory turnover ratio is 5. And then linked to this is my inventory turnover period. So once I find out the ratio means number of times my inventory is going to move in the year. Inventory is going to rotate in the year. The next will come as what will be my inventory turnover period. Period means this rotation will happen this rotation will happen after how many days? That is, in other words, one cycle will require how many days? So the answer is 365 upon inventory turnover ratio. So if my material is rotating 5 times in a year, so after gap of how many days it is going to rotate, this is what I will get here. आई होप यू आर गेटिंग दिस करेक्ट ना? सो रफली व्हाट आई एम गेटिंग इज 73 days means what? My one cycle of material purchase and then consumption will take 73 days. Then second cycle will start purchase and then consumption. Then a third cycle will start purchase and then consumption, purchase and then consumption. This cycle is moving 5 times in a year. So 5 times total, this cycle has moved of purchase, consumption. And every cycle is happening at a gap of 73 days. Means one cycle requires 73 days to complete it. I hope this is clear. Students, are you getting this concept of turnover ratio? Should we proceed? Yes, beta. Ramchan, please tell me.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर।
Very good morning.
सर मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि
बताइए।
कोई भी कंपनी की मान लो 1000 करोड़ की टर्नओवर है, तो
हाँ।
हम उसको कैसे समझे, मतलब कि उसकी जो इन्वेंट्री का लेन देन है वो 1000 करोड़ का है।
ना 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 ना। सी, जब आपने 1000 करोड़ कहा, आपने उसके सेल्स की बात करी।
जी सर।
वो तो आपने ये बताया कि बिजनेस में सेल कितना हुआ है। टर्नओवर
ओके।
रेशियो इस बात से डिपेंड करेगा। ये देखो, यहां से आपको टर्नओवर रेशियो समझेगा कि कितना टोटल माल कंज्यूम हुआ साल भर में। समझो ये कंज्यूम हुआ 500 करोड़ का, क्योंकि 1000 करोड़ की सेल है तो उसमें मटेरियल में अज्यूम करो 500 करोड़ का है, करेक्ट? 500 करोड़
ठीक
के
है।
मटेरियल से आपका उतना प्रोडक्शन हुआ जो 1000 करोड़ का सेल बना, राइट? और
जी।
आपका जो एवरेज स्टॉक आता है कि ऑन एन एवरेज आप स्टॉक में कितना रखते हो, आपका जो मटेरियल पड़ा रहता है ऑन एन एवरेज वो 10 करोड़ का पड़ा रहता है। सो मैंने निकाला कि अच्छा, इसका मतलब आपका साल भर में इन्वेंट्री का रोटेशन 5 बार हुआ है। सी, अंडरस्टैंड दिस। आप स्टॉक में 10 करोड़ रख रहे हो, 10 करोड़ कंज्यूम हुआ, वापस स्टॉक आया 10 करोड़, जो एवरेज रहता है वो कंज्यूम हुआ। ऐसा 10 करोड़ 10 करोड़ कितनी बार होगा टू मेक इट 500 करोड़? सॉरी, नॉट 5 टाइम्स, 50 टाइम्स। यानी जब 50 टाइम्स आप 10 करोड़ को कंज्यूम कर लोगे तो वो कितना बन जाएगा? 500 करोड़।
जी।
यानी आपका साइकिल मटेरियल का 50 बार घूमा है इस पूरे साल में। यानी इन अदर वर्ड्स, हर 7.3 डेज में आपका एक साइकिल कंप्लीट होता है, करेक्ट ना? क्योंकि वो मैं कैसे
ओके।
निकालूंगा, 365/50। सो हर 7.3 डेज में आपका एक मटेरियल का पूरा साइकिल कंप्लीट होता है।
वही मैं बात कर रहा हूँ, जो साइकिल हो रहा है उसको हम टर्नओवर माने सर।
यस, नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स योर मटेरियल साइकिल इज मूविंग, दैट इज टर्नओवर रेशियो।
ओके, टर्नओवर नॉट मतलब कि जो सेल्स होती है उसे रेफर नहीं करती।
अकाउंट्स में वापस मैं बोल रहा हूँ बेटा, इसलिए मैंने बोला ना टर्नओवर एक कॉन्सेप्ट है, और इससे मैंने शुरुआत सेल से ही करी, क्योंकि हमारे दिमाग में अब तक बैठ गया है या बिठाया गया है कि टर्नओवर मतलब सेल्स। बट दैट
हाँ
इज
जी।
ओनली व्हेन यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट अकाउंट्स में टर्नओवर, राइट?
ओके।
टर्नओवर
मतलब
इज अ
मैं
कॉन्सेप्ट। अभी हम
मतलब मैं
जैसे एम्प्लॉय कॉस्ट पढ़ेंगे इसके बाद, तो एम्प्लॉय कॉस्ट में भी टर्नओवर आएगा, वहां पे एम्प्लॉय टर्नओवर रेशियो आएगा। उसका
ओके,
सेल्स से तो कोई लेन देन नहीं है।
ठीक है। मेरा एक क्वेश्चन था कि मान लो मैं टाटा कंपनी की एक टर्नओवर देखता हूँ, उसको मैं
हाँ।
सेल्स मानूं
यस।
तो।
जी बेटा,
तो
आप टाटा कंपनी की टर्नओवर कहाँ पे देखोगे? ये बताओ मुझे। वेयर विल यू सी दिस टर्नओवर?
सर गूगल
कहाँ
पर,
देखोगे आपने बोला?
बैलेंस शीट में।
हाँ,
बैलेंस शीट में सर।
बैलेंस शीट में तो लिखा रहेगा ना। सी, मैंने एक दिन लास्ट किसी क्लास में ये भी बताया था किसी के क्वेश्चन पे, कि ये जो भी हम कॉस्टिंग में पढ़ रहे हैं, मटेरियल कॉस्ट, अभी एम्प्लॉय कॉस्ट, जो भी हम पढ़ रहे हैं, ये सारा इंटरनल डेटा होता है। ये कहीं पे भी पब्लिश नहीं होता। आपके कंपनी के सारे लोगों को भी पता नहीं होता ये डेटा, क्योंकि ये आपका सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट, सबसे सेंसिटिव डेटा है, करेक्ट? तो ये तो आपका पब्लिश होने ही नहीं वाला है।
ओके सर।
ठीक है ना? सो ये चीज आप मान लो कि जो भी हम टर्नओवर की बातें करते हैं आज तक, वो सब सेल्स ही कर रहे हैं, वो सही है। बट दैट
ओके।
इज लिमिटेड ओनली टू वन थिंग विच इज योर अकाउंटिंग टर्नओवर।
ओके सर।
है ना?
जी।
फाइन। यस मेधा, इन्वेंट्री टर्नओवर ये कॉन्सेप्ट मटेरियल चैप्टर का है। बाद में जब हम एम्प्लॉय टर्नओवर पढ़ेंगे, दैट इज पार्ट ऑफ योर लेबर चैप्टर, दैट इज एम्प्लॉय चैप्टर। एंड सो ऑन। ठीक है। In fact, when you will study FM, you will again find something in FM also relating to turnover. So every chapter has turnover. That is what I'm trying to make clear. Ki don't be guided ki turnover only means sales. That is only for the purpose of accounts. Right?
ओके सर। ओके सर।
Perfect. Yes, Hina beta.
सर देर आर ऑल्सो लाइक फीफो वेटेड एवरेज, तो वो मतलब अभी कवर नहीं हुआ है तो हमें खुद से करना है।
बेटा वो मैंने लास्ट लेक्चर में एक्सप्लेन किया ना। आप मटेरियल का जो प्राइसिंग है वो दो बार डिसाइड करते हो। एक एट द टाइम ऑफ परचेज जिसके हमने सम सॉल्व किए थे स्टार्टिंग में, और दूसरा एट द टाइम ऑफ कंजम्पशन। क्योंकि अब वो एक बार आपका हो चुका है, इसलिए मैंने वो कॉन्सेप्ट से ज्यादा जो नए कॉन्सेप्ट है उसे कवर किया।
नहीं
राइट।
नहीं, एक्चुअली स्टडी मैट में काफी डिफरेंट सम थे फीफो के, तो वहां पे बहुत
तो
कुछ
एक काम
अलग।
कर लो ना बेटा। सो सी एनीवेज यू हैव डन बेसिक फीफो लीफो, राइट? सो
यस
सॉल्व
यस।
दो सम्स। यू
हम्म।
कैन कम बैक टू मी इन एनी क्लास फॉर द डाउट्स। क्योंकि क्या होगा बेटा, ये जो नए कॉन्सेप्ट जैसे मैंने अभी बताया ये आपने कभी नहीं पढ़े थे। ईओक्यू, स्टॉक लेवल, एबीसी, इन्वेंट्री टर्नओवर। सो इन द गिवन टाइम इफ आई हैव टू सिलेक्ट, जैसे मैंने भी एबीसी किया कि किसको मैं प्रेफरेंस दूं, तो प्रेफरेंस में आई सिलेक्टेड ऑब्वियसली दो टॉपिक्स विच आर न्यू। अब जो आपके हो चुके हैं डेफिनेटली उसमें इंटर लेवल पे कुछ एडजस्टमेंट्स होंगे अलग। सो माय रिक्वेस्ट इज यू जस्ट मार्क दोस एडजस्टमेंट एंड इन एनी क्लास यू कैन आस्क मी। तो उससे क्या हो गया, आपका वो टॉपिक भी कवर हो गया और उसमें के नई बातें भी आपकी टेकन केयर ऑफ हो गई। अंडरस्टूड?
ओके। और मटेरियल में ना एक आरटीपी 2024 का एक अमेंडमेंट था, लाइक रिलेटेड टू पेरिशेबल गुड्स, और पूरा एक
हाँ,
सम था, तो वो वाला कॉन्सेप्ट भी फिर।
तो मुझे फिर आप या तो वो भेज दो। आई जस्ट सी आप कौन से सम की बात कर रहे हो। आई टेक दैट मे बी आफ्टर कंप्लीटिंग टुडेज क्लास और इन माय नेक्स्ट क्लास। यू जस्ट पुट द स्क्रीनशॉट।
सर हाउ टू शेयर दैट स्क्रीनशॉट?
आई थिंक यू कैन पुट इट इन दिस योर चैट। आपके चैट्स मुझे विजिबल है। और डू वन थिंग इन चैट, जस्ट टाइप मी द नंबर, दैट इज द आरटीपी कौन सा है और उसमें कौन से नंबर का क्वेश्चन है। I'll go through that question and I'll answer your doubt in the next class.
ओके सर, थैंक यू।
So please students do this extra practice, and whatever are your doubts from any of your our study material questions or MTP RTP, please give me the reference. I'll go through. I mean, I'll find out that and I'll answer your question. Yes, Vikas.
सर गुड मॉर्निंग। मेरा
Very
एक
good.
क्वेश्चन ये है कि जैसे कि अभी हम लोग टर्नओवर की बात कर रहे थे,
Hmm.
तो अगर सेल्स का टर्नओवर है तो किस कैटेगरी में जाएगा? मींस वो अगर हम अकाउंट्स में बात करते तो ये टर्नओवर कॉस्टिंग में आ गया, तो अगर सेल्स की बात करेंगे तो वो कैसे जाएगा, उसको
नहीं
कैसे
बेटा,
ट्रीट
कहीं
करेंगे?
पे जाता नहीं है। एक चीज समझो। I'll give you a simple example. ये एक इंटरेस्टिंग पॉइंट है, ध्यान दो। मैंने लिखा बिल्स। आप पढ़ रहे हो, आपको इसका क्या मतलब आया बेटा बिल्स का?
बिल्स मींस इनवाइसेस।
इनवॉइसेस, करेक्ट।
हम्म।
अब यही अगर आप यूएस में जाओगे और आप बिल्स लिखोगे ना, उनको क्या मतलब आएगा मालूम है यूएस वालों को इसका?
नो।
उनको इसका मतलब आएगा उनका करेंसी नोट।
ओके।
करेक्ट। और आप वही कॉस्टिंग वाले को बिल बोलोगे तो उसको समझेगा बिल मतलब बिल ऑफ मटेरियल, मतलब कॉस्टिंग वाले के लिए इसका मतलब होता है लिस्ट।
ओके।
कहना मैं क्या चाह रहा हूं बेटा, एक शब्द के मल्टीपल अर्थ होते हैं, जिसको अपन बोलते हैं ना, हमने स्कूल में एक पढ़ा था, रेफरेंस टू द कॉन्टेक्स्ट।
हम्म।
क्योंकि आप उसको किस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में यूज कर रहे हो उस हिसाब से उसका मतलब लिया जाएगा। आर यू गेटिंग दिस पॉइंट? तो जब
यस।
आप अकाउंटिंग पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से बात करोगे तो टर्नओवर का मतलब लिया जाएगा सेल्स। पर जैसे ही आप उसे रेशियो बोलना शुरू करोगे तो फिर वो पूछेंगे किसका टर्नओवर रेशियो। तो आप पढ़ोगे डेटर्स टर्नओवर रेशियो, क्रेडिटर्स टर्नओवर रेशियो, इन्वेंट्री टर्नओवर रेशियो। अब इन्वेंट्री में भी रॉ मटेरियल का अलग, फिनिश गुड्स का अलग, फिर लेबर टर्नओवर रेशियो। तो आपके पास ये जो टर्नओवर रेशियो है ये बहुत चीजों का होता है। तो जब हम टर्नओवर रेशियो की बात करेंगे, इन दैट केस इट विल नॉट बी सेल्स। करेक्ट बेटा?
ओके।
हमेशा। और ये हर जगह पे होता है। जैसे मैंने कहा ना, बिल्स ये एक ऐसा वर्ड है जिसका अलग अलग जगहों पे अलग अलग मतलब आएगा। जैसे आपने बोला इनवॉइस, ये हमारा मतलब है वापस कौन से पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से, अकाउंटिंग पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से। पर यही
यस।
यूएस में आप किसको भी बोलोगे बिल्स तो उसको समझ जाएगा कि आप उनके करेंसी की बात कर रहे हो, डॉलर्स की। और आप कॉस्टिंग या कॉस्ट वाले डिपार्टमेंट में बैठे और उधर आपने बोला बिल तो उसको समझेगा आप लिस्ट की बात कर रहे हो। तो इसलिए आपका किस, जो आपने कैटेगरी बोला मैं उसको चेंज करा वर्ड, आप किस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में वो वर्ड यूज करोगे और यहाँ पे अब मैं बोलूंगा किस चैप्टर में यूज करोगे, अकॉर्डिंगली उसका मतलब आए। तो हमारे यहाँ पे हम सिर्फ टर्नओवर नहीं कैलकुलेट कर रहे, हम रेशियो कैलकुलेट कर रहे हैं। तो ये जितने भी मैंने नाम लिखे ये सारे टर्नओवर रेशियोज है, ये आप एफएम में पढ़ोगे, ये वाले डेटर्स टर्नओवर, क्रेडिटर टर्नओवर, फिनिश गुड्स टर्नओवर। और यहाँ पे जो हमने पढ़ा वो रॉ मटेरियल टर्नओवर पढ़ा, इन्वेंट्री टर्नओवर रेशियो ऑफ रॉ मटेरियल, और हम आगे पढ़ेंगे एम्प्लॉय या लेबर टर्नओवर रेशियो। राइट?
Right. Okay.
अंडरस्टूड ना बेटा?
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for explanation.
यस बेटा। सो स्टूडेंट्स, see how interesting the subjects are. One word can have so many different applications and meanings, right? Sure. Let us proceed. Now, again going back to the basic cost sheet. Cost sheet में हम सबसे पहले लेते हैं डायरेक्ट मटेरियल, और you can say raw material consumed. How do you find out this? In the materials chapter, I told you how do you find out how much material cost is to be charged. You require two things: quantity of material and the charging price, right? On this charging price, we understood in two parts: first at the time of purchase, and then at the time of issue using the FIFO, LIFO, etc. Quantity, if you remember, I had told you कि how much quantity would be consumed. It is already there in your records. और अगर कुछ नए मटेरियल नए प्रोडक्ट के लिए ढूंढना रहता है तो इट इज द इंजीनियरिंग डिपार्टमेंट which does. Similarly, when you come to direct labor, which is also called as direct wages, how do you find out how much is the direct labor or direct wages cost for a particular product? सेम तरीके से आपको डायरेक्ट लेबर भी ढूंढना है. फॉर दैट वी रिक्वायर टू थिंग्स. वन इज लेबर आवर्स booked, and second is the charging rate. So there are two things in लेबर कॉस्ट ऑल्सो, कि हाउ विल यू फाइंड आउट कि आज आप जो प्रोडक्ट बना रहे हो, अगर आप उसका कॉस्ट शीट बना रहे हो तो उसमें लेबर कॉस्ट कितना है, हम कितना उसको लेबर कॉस्ट चार्ज करें, डायरेक्ट लेबर कॉस्ट. आंसर इज यू हैव टू फाइंड आउट टू थिंग्स: कितने लेबर आवर्स उस काम पे आपको लग रहे हैं, विच इज कॉल्ड एज लेबर आवर्स बुक. हाउ मच लेबर आवर्स यू आर गोइंग टू यूज, you are going to consume in that particular product or production, that is called as labor hours booked. And then again in costing, the most important thing is finding the charging rate, right? मेधा chapter 3 or 5 I don't recall कि अभी module में where it is, which number it is, that you can just check from the module beta. Deepika is asking which theory should I cover in material cost lesson. But I have uploaded one material chapter. You can take up the entire theory from here, whatever I have taken at the start. But my humble request is this is theory which I have made short for the purpose of exams. Please do refer your module so that you have a comprehensive understanding of all theory questions. But I think labor cost and employee cost are one in the same, Medha. Do we have two different chapters in our module, Medha? As you are saying, chapter 3, employee cost, chapter 5, labor cost. I don't think so. Because I have already shared the material notes. Labor notes, again, like material, once we do something, once we complete some part today, I'll definitely share. Don't worry, I will be sharing it. Like how I already shared material notes, you will be getting the labor notes also. Acha, okay. If you are getting misled by this chapter 5, don't worry. I'll remove it. Actually, it is my internal chapter number. So it is appearing as 5. You have to go by your module. Don't worry. I'll change it when I'll be sharing it. So this confusion will not be there, Meta. Fine. Excellent. Now, pay attention, students. If you remember, I had informed you that in Gunjan Beta, I have already shared the PDF. मटेरियल का पीडीएफ शेयर कर दिया है और मेरे एक ही पीडीएफ में थियरी, जैसे स्टार्टिंग में थियरी और बाद में प्रैक्टिकल्स है। आई हैव ऑलरेडी शेयर्ड दिस गुंजन बेटा ऑफ मटेरियल चैप्टर। लेबर तो अभी जस्ट हम स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं। डोंट वरी, जैसे मैंने मटेरियल चैप्टर सिखाने के बाद वो अपलोड किया था, लेबर का भी मैं वही करने वाला हूँ। डोंट वरी, फाइन। So it will be available to you. It is uploaded beta on our BOS portal. Because you have to go to the BOS portal. वहां पे आपको डाउनलोड सेक्शन में जाना है, वहां पे you'll find all the notes of all the faculties. Divya is saying it is not available in BOS. I'll check beta Divya. I don't know whether you are asking about study material or my notes, because last class notes I have already shared. In fact, even the first class, that is cost, basics of costing, I'd share the screenshots. Yes, Riddhi beta.
सर आप नोट्स के बारे में बात कर रहे हो ना?
हाँ, मैं मुझे ही नहीं समझ रहा आप लोग कौन से नोट्स के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं। एक मेरे
सर
नोट ये वाले और
बीओस
एक आपका मॉड्यूल है। हाँ,
सर बीओस पोर्टल और बीओस ऐप दोनों में सिर्फ 2 नोट्स अवेलेबल है, पर वो आपकी नहीं है।
चलो
एक में
मैं एक बार वापस
आरटीपी है
चेक
और
कर।
दूसरे में भी आरटीपी और एमटीपी ही है, आपके नहीं है नोट्स।
नहीं नहीं बेटा, एक जो बीओएस का नॉलेज पोर्टल है ना, वहाँ पे सारे मॉड्यूल्स और सब कुछ है। और फिर हमारा एक अलग पोर्टल होता है जहाँ पे आपको सारे फैकल्टीज के नोट्स मिलते हैं। आपको दूसरे फैकल्टीज के मिले क्या नोट्स जो आपने
हाँ,
अटेंड
अकाउंट के
किया?
मिले।
हाँ, तो वो जहां से मिले वहीं पे होने चाहिए। मैंने मटेरियल भी वहां पे अपलोड किया था, और जो फर्स्ट 2 लेक्चर्स हुए थे बेसिक्स के, उसके स्क्रीनशॉट जो मैं लिख रहा हूँ वो भी अपलोड किया था। स्टिल इफ इट इज नॉट अवेलेबल, सिंस मल्टीपल ऑफ यू आर सेइंग, आई जस्ट क्रॉस चेक एंड आई अपलोड।
ओके सर।
अच्छा, वन सेकेंड, एक मिनट। कृष्णा हैज गिवन अस अपडेट, ही इज सेइंग कि सर इट इज अवेलेबल इन द असाइनमेंट सेक्शन। सो आई थिंक आपके उधर अलग अलग सेक्शन है, आप शायद नोट्स सेक्शन में ढूंढ रहे हो। So it is in the assignment section. Please check, students. So thank you, Krishna and Ravindra, for informing this. Pratik shall tell you what is the difference between wages and salary. I'm coming to that. Let me first resolve this issue of notes. So students, as updated by Krishna, these notes are there. Okay, Satish is also saying it is available in our portal. Please check the assignment section, students. I think you all are checking some notes or some other sections. Okay, विकास को मिल गए, so maybe others will also getting. Yes, Prajyot.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर.
Good morning, beta. Tell me.
सर नोट्स भेटले
मिले हैं ना?
मिले है.
Sorry, beta.
नोट्स मिले है.
Okay, great. Thank you. Riddhi has now clarified that you all were checking the notes section, but it is in the assignment section. Okay, Divya is giving one more input कि maybe mobile वाले ऐप से नहीं हो रहा है, आप लैपटॉप से करेंगे तो वो हो रहा है. So please check. Fine. Hina, that you have to solve, and that you will find answers in past exam questions or in MTPs, RTPs, and even you can ask me the doubts, because the same type of questions are done in the class, right, Hina? But still, I'll ask Hina that you solve from our BOS material, which is available of MTPs, RTPs. That would be sufficient. इधर जो मैंने छोड़े हैं ना बेटा, that is for our revision class, क्योंकि बाद में हमारी रिवीजन क्लास भी होती है. सो मिक्स एंड मैच में वो दोनों कंप्लीट हो जाएंगे. यस मेधा. मेधा, आई हैव अनम्यूटेड यू बेटा. ओके, सो शी हैज रेज्ड हर हैंड बाय मिस्टेक. ठीक है. सो आई होप these now queries relating to notes is now finally put to rest. Yes, Medha, if you have to ask something, please let me know. I'll answer and then I'll proceed. But I unmuted you, Medha. Just raise your hand, I'll again unmute you, because I had unmuted you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Medha. Tell me.
सर चैप्टर 1 इज नॉट अपलोडेड, तो वो क्या हम अपने बुक से ही पढ़ के एंड वी कैन मेक द सर्टेन नोट्स ऑफ दैट,
बेटा चैप्टर
और
वन
जस्ट वी
में
शुड
जो
प्रोसीड विद द चैप्टर 2?
चैप्टर वन का मैंने आपको याद रहेगा तो बताया था। चैप्टर वन में आई हैड यूज दिस स्क्रीन, सी this screen I had used, and
यस
where it is, I don't remember now. I'll be not finding it here. Yes, this, if you remember, this is what I did in first class to give you
यस
the
सर,
basics, right?
यस सर.
This I have uploaded, beta. This I have
So
uploaded. I have taken a
this is
screenshot of
not
this
there.
and I have uploaded.
So this is not there.
But I have uploaded this also. I have taken two screenshots.
Okay, because sir,
Okay,
right now
I'll
I've
again
checked
check
it.
because I remember because that day.
Right now I've just checked it, but this is not there. Just a material
Because
cost.
somebody had
Whenever
requested me that day. No
when I have
problem. If it
clicked
is
on
not
the
there, I'll
download,
again upload it. Don't worry. It is good that you
sir,
have it.
yes, when I have clicked on the July, when I clicked on the assignment part, it says July 24th,
Mhm.
2025, and when I clicked on the download, it says material cost directly.
No problem. I'll recheck. If it is not there, I'll again upload. Don't worry. Fine.
Yes,
Now,
sir. Thank
one
you,
very
sir.
important thing. Somebody asked me, ki, sir, from where to study chapter one? See, chapter one is fully theory, right? And one very important thing which I told you all was, I'll repeat for everyone's benefit. Chapter one you should study at the end. Why? I'll tell you. Chapter one is supposed to be introduction, but it is covering all concepts in costing, which you are going to study step by step in other chapters. So today, even if you study chapter one, technically you will not understand much from chapter one because it is having everything of costing at start, right? Like let us say how you have definitions at the start, but all definitions are not taught in the first class itself, because as we proceed with every class, every chapter, you will find new concepts coming to you. So I had in fact even asked all of you all at the end of that class that for the purpose of your self preparation, I will just suggest that you study. You may just go through chapter one, all the pointers, but the learning part and the final part which you do for exam, that is taking out notes and doing the learning, this you should do after the major chapters from this subject are over. Why? Because otherwise today you will not understand many of the concepts until unless you study all the further chapters. ठीक है बेटा? So for exams, you should start
Yes,
preparing
sir.
some material. Now, how to prepare, I'll tell you. So I have uploaded my notes, plus you have these recordings, plus what you should do is you should go to our past exam questions, MTPs, RTPs, which are uploaded, and please solve those sums from all the MTPs, RTPs that are uploaded in our BOS portal. You also have the answers for them and the past exam questions along with their answers. This is how you should prepare for every chapter. Okay? Is this clear to
Yes, sir.
everyone? Perfect.
Thank you, sir.
Most welcome. Okay. Now, if you all remember, I had explained in material chapter that in all these chapters, material, labor, overheads, you have to study three things. What are those three things that you will study? You will study the accounting, you will study the costing, and you will study the control. So for material, labor, overheads, you will study how to do accounting, how to do costing, how to do control. Now, in your materials chapter, this was majorly important for the purpose of exams. Like we studied in detail for two classes, we studied the inventory control techniques. When it comes to labor, what is more important for exams in labor is this part. This is only theoretical, right? So see, depending upon different chapters, the weightage of different things will be uh, informed to you, and you have to keep that in mind when you are preparing from the perspective of exams, right? Just 1 second, my screen is giving me a lot of problem. 1 second. Let me reshare because it was getting stuck up. Okay, now it is moving. Fine. Now, I'm coming to the costing part of labor. Now, this cost, which is called as direct labor or direct wages, how will you do the charging of this to your product? So, for the purpose of charging, for the purpose of costing, that is finding out how much is to be taken in the cost sheet for any product, you have to find out two things. How much is the labor hours that are required for that product or production, which is called as labor hours booked, and you multiplied by the charging rate, right? Now, let me take you to both these concepts parallelly in labor. Now, when we say labor, labor is your human resource of your business. Now, in accounting, in costing, we represent this cost by different names. One, we have wages. One, we have salary. And then you also have your director's remuneration. Correct? So these are the different names, which I'm sure till date you would have seen in accounting P&L. Now, what is the difference? See, wages is paid to workers, generally who are working in your factory, in your stores. Then salary comes to the people who are working in the office or who are working as a manager, supervisor, and then comes director who are controlling or managing the company. Correct? Now, interestingly, you'll find that workers may be paid on daily basis or on weekly basis or even on 15 days, which is called as fortnightly basis. And at time, worker may be paid on monthly basis. Salaried people, all these people are always paid on monthly basis only. And director's remuneration may be monthly or it may be quarterly or at times it is annual. To see the interesting difference. Now, for us, all are labor. However, as we studied in our first class, all cost, be it material, be it labor, has to be first classified into direct and indirect. Now, generally, this will be indirect only. And the wages part generally is direct, but you also have indirect wages. But salaries and directors' remunerations are majorly indirect. Correct? This direct wages is mainly the wages paid to production workers. Indirect wages are the wages paid to workers who are supporting the production workers, like the workers who are engaged in stores, like the workers who are supporting the main production workers in the form of helpers, right? So this is what is the difference between direct and indirect wages. Salary is all people who are working in different departments, like the sales department, the administration department, then the managers of different departments like the factory manager, the sales manager, the accounts manager, and even the superior or the supervisory staff. These are all paid on monthly basis, which is called as salary. Now, for us, all this comes under labor. And right now, what we are talking about is majorly direct workers or their direct wages. Because the indirect part, all this indirect wages, indirect salaries and all, you know that it is now called as overheads in costing. So how to do charging, how to do costing of all this you'll study in the next chapter, which is overheads. So right now, what we will be majorly focusing on is the accounting, the controlling, the charging of the direct workers majorly. Correct? Clear to all? Any questions up to this point, students? Students, please confirm. Students, there is some problem with my screen. It is continuously getting stuck. Even my video, as far as I am seeing, is getting stuck. Good. Okay, let us do one thing. Let us take a small break. It will be a break for me also, and maybe break for my system also, because my system is continuously getting stuck and hang. So let us take a 10 minutes break. Around 8:45, we resume and we go ahead with the details, right? Yeah. So some questions, because questions I think only yes, no's. ठीक. So now in this chapter, we discuss in detail the costing, accounting, etc. for direct workers. When we go to theory, if I talk about the accounting part, you'll find that there are two concepts given in accounting. One is the attendance procedure, which is called as time keeping, and the other is called as time booking. Now, students, try to understand what are these two concepts. When you are keeping a record of the in time and out time of the workers, what we normally refer to as attendance, this is called as timekeeping. So basically, timekeeping procedure of accounting will record the time when the worker has entered the factory and when the worker is leaving the factory. This marks the attendance, okay, whether he was present, absent, plus mark the time for which he was present in the company. Now, both these things are required to ultimately decide how much wages is payable to that worker. Because generally we are paying workers wages on the basis of their time for which they are present in the company. And this is done by the mechanism called as timekeeping. So we have given them, let us say, a slot of 8 hours, which is generally one shift. But whether they are present for 8 hours or not, if somebody has left early, if somebody has come late, or if somebody is absent, that would be recorded by timekeeping methods. Now, timekeeping has both types of methods. You have the manual method, and now you have the sophisticated mechanical methods. Now, in manual, you have the old attendance register method, which is the most common manual method. And in mechanical, we have time recording clocks. Or now we have all those cards, card swipes and retina scan, thumb machines. So we have all those different types of recording machines. Now, recording machines you are well aware of. The most common one is that thumb. So you place your thumb many times, even the door will open on the basis of your thumb. But that is more from the security point of view. From the purpose of attendance, it is only when you come, you just press the thumb. Your time of in is recorded. When you're leaving out, again, you press the thumb, your time of out is recorded. This is something new to you, that is time recording clocks. In factories where the workers are in huge numbers, in hundreds and at time in thousands, they install a clock at different entry points, or maybe when you enter your department where you are working. Now, this clock is having main part, which is the main clock showing the time. Plus, there is a section here. Now, you are given a card. This is very important. You are given a card which you have to insert in this particular section made in the clock. And then the clock, which is not only a time showing clock, but also a time recording clock, will punch the time on this particular card. So this card will have your in time and the out time punched. So the recording of your attendance and the in time and out time is done using this time recording clock. And generally in offices, we have the recording machines, which is majorly the thumb machine. In some cases, it is the card swipe machine, right? Now, what is interesting and new to us is the concept of time booking. Now, timekeeping is what we have been seeing from schools. It is the time of, it is the recording of attendance. What is this time booking? Now, time booking is something which is only used whenever you are doing costing. Now, let us say from timekeeping, you came to know that Vishal is present in the factory for 8 hours on the basis of in time, out time recorded. Yes, beta, you can also call it as biometric, but biometric is more used for security, where you do the retina scan and all, and it is more of where security is to be checked, right? Biometrics are not always used for time recording except for the thumb one. Okay. Now, once you know on the basis of timekeeping that Vishal is present in your factory for 8 hours, now for the purpose of costing and also for the purpose of control, that is the other two functions, you need to know how this 8 hours was utilized. So basically what time booking is going to do, it is going to check my utilization of time. So time booking was doing the attendance, that is recording the in-out time. Time booking is going to do the recording of my time utilization. So how I am utilizing my time will be recorded. Now, what this time booking will do, I have to start recording the time. Like 8 o'clock I came, 8 to 8:10, the time was spent either in changing my clothes, putting on all the factory gears, some safety gears which are required, or it may also be spent in the machine warming up. Now, what is this machine warming up? Many times the machines which are used, they are not like this. You will put on the button and it will start working. Since those are huge machines, it takes some time to get ready. It is also called as machine warm-up time, or it is also called as machine setup time. Then 8:10 to 10:30, I did my work where I worked on job X. Then 10:30 to 10:45, it was my tea break, refreshment break. Then 10:40 to 10:45, again my time was spent between changing from job X to job Y. Then 10:45 to 1:30, I worked on job Y. Again 1:30 to 2:15, we had the lunch break. Then 2:15 to, let us say, 4, I worked on job Z. Now, this type of recording is what is called as time booking, which is going to record how I have utilized my time. Now, what is the purpose? One, doing costing. How? I will get to know how much every worker is working on different jobs. So let us say now you are preparing cost sheet of job Y. You need to charge the labor cost. You need to do the costing of labor cost, for which you need to know how much time the workers have actually worked on this job. That you will get from time booking. You will take this time record of different workers. Like me, different workers are working on job Y. You will take the time worked by every worker on job Y from this time booking, and that time you will put over here, which is called as the labor hours booked, or the labor hours worked on every job. So this is how this time booking is used for costing or charging the labor cost to different jobs, to different products. How it is used for controlling? It will be used for controlling mainly by looking at these time intervals. Now, these times when you are present in the factory, but you are not engaged in any productive work, all these time gaps are called as idle time. So idle time is the time when you are present, but you are not engaged in any productive work. Now again, this idle time may be normal or abnormal. All the control function is for this, because this is what should not have happened. Normal is what? This time, 10 minutes are required for this. But if somebody has taken 20 minutes, so that will be the alarm ki boss. Only, let us say, 5, 7, maximum 10 minutes was the normal time required for doing this, changing your clothes, putting on the gears, and also the machine ready for the work. But if you have spent 20 minutes, it means somewhere you are wasting the time, you are doing time pass, you are in between taking unnecessary gaps. So this is where control is done using this time booking data. So time booking is done for both things. Now, for time booking also, again, we use cards. That is, all this data which you can see on the screen is recorded, is reported on the cards. Now, cards can be maintained either employee-wise or either job-wise. Now, this is the example which you are seeing is of employee card. Why? Because this you have done for an employee, Mr. Vishal. You have recorded how the employee spent his time throughout the day. So when you are booking the time of the employee, how he has spent his time throughout the day, it will be called as an employee card. As against this, there can be a job-wise card. So let us say this is the card for job Y. Now, who is going to maintain this card? It is maintained by the supervisor of that job. What he will do, he will start reporting, let us say from 8:10 to let us say 9:30. Mr. Nisarg has worked on this job. Then from 9:30 to let us say 10:45, let us say Miss Divya has worked on this job. 10:45 to 1:30, let us say Mr. Vishal has worked on this job. So this is how a job card is maintained for each job, where again the time is booked, the time is reported, the time is recorded for that job. And this reporting is done by the supervisor. How it helps? This total time is what will be used ultimately here in your cost sheet. So you have this cost sheet. In cost sheet, you require the total labor hours booked. Here you require labor hours for all the workers. So from this job card, you will get different workers' time, which is booked, which is worked on this particular job. So job Y. And then using that data and multiplying it by the charging rate, you will get the labor cost of that particular job. So I hope students, you are understanding the difference between timekeeping, time booking, and how time booking is used for both charging, that is costing, and also for cost controlling. Clear? Understood? So we are studying parallelly all these three things with more thrust on the conceptual part. कि ना बेटा टाइम बुकिंग बहुत आसान बात है. टाइम बुकिंग क्या है? जैसे एक्चुअल में जब आप पढ़ रहे हो तब भी ये एडवाइस किया जाता है, या आप कोई मोटिवेशनल लेक्चर्स या ये ऐसे क्या बोलते हैं उनको, लाइफ कोचेस के जो आजकल बहुत लेक्चर्स फेमस हो गए यूट्यूब पे, जब आप वहां पे टाइम मैनेजमेंट वाला सेशन अटेंड करते हो तो वो आपके लिए भी बोलते हैं कि आपके दिन का आपने टाइम बुकिंग जैसा एक कार्ड बनाना चाहिए या डायरी बनानी चाहिए, जिसमें आपने लिखना चाहिए सुबह आप कितने बजे उठे, सुबह उठने के बाद आपने, समझिए आप 6 बजे उठते हो तो 6 से 6:15 आपने क्या किया. तो आप वहां पे अपनी डायरी में एग्जैक्टली ये नोट करते हो आपने दिन भर का टाइम स्पेंड कैसे किया. तो जब आप ये लाइफ कोचेस के, ये मोटिवेशनल स्पीकर्स के जब आप सेशंस अटेंड करोगे और उसमें टाइम मैनेजमेंट वाला चैप्टर आएगा तो वो आपको एग्जैक्टली यही करने को बोलेंगे जिसे कॉस्टिंग टाइम बुकिंग कहता है. मेधा बेटा ओवरहेड्स मतलब सिंपल वर्ड्स में जो भी आपका इनडायरेक्ट कॉस्ट है, इनडायरेक्ट मटेरियल, इनडायरेक्ट लेबर, इनडायरेक्ट एक्सपेंस, इसको हम कॉमनली कॉस्टिंग में ओवरहेड्स कहते हैं. वो डिटेल में चैप्टर आएगा, वहां पे हम डिटेल में वो पढ़ने वाले हैं. फाइन. सो आई होप बेटा दिस पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन इज क्लियर. जो अभी हम डिस्कस कर रहे थे कि टाइम बुकिंग एग्जैक्टली क्या है, राइट? Yes, Gunjan. So it is timetable की जगह पे Gunjan, I'll say it is how the time is spent by you. So when you are spending the time on different work, आपका दिन भर का टाइम यूटिलाइजेशन इज टाइम बुकिंग. और एक्चुअल में अगर आपको भी लगता है कि मेरा टाइम पास बहुत हो रहा है, मेरा टाइम वेस्ट बहुत हो रहा है, मुझे मेरा टाइम मैनेजमेंट करना है, तो उसका सबसे पहला तरीका है आप डायरी लीजिए और आपके रोज का ये टाइम रिकॉर्ड करना शुरू कीजिए, राइट फ्रॉम द टाइम यू वेक अप टिल द टाइम यू गो टू स्लीप. जो भी आपके अवेक आवर्स है आपको उसका ये लिखना है. and this is the first step in your time management. Correct? Okay. Now, coming to the next concept which is required for costing, that is charging rate. Same like material. Even here, for doing costing, you require the charging rate. Now, this is the charging rate for labor. How it is calculated? It is calculated by the same mother formula, same mother concept. What is this? The mother concept is, in the numerator, you will take total labor cost to the company. इसे हम सीटीसी भी बोलते हैं. जब आप जॉब के लिए जाते हो, इंटरव्यू के लिए जाते हो, आप पूछते हो कि व्हाट इज माय सीटीसी, मतलब कंपनी आप पे टोटल कितना खर्चा करेगी, डिवाइडेड बाय नॉर्मल प्रोडक्टिव लेबर आवर्स. सी, ये मदर फॉर्मूला है. सेम चीज हमने पढ़ी थी इन मटेरियल चैप्टर ऑल्सो. सेम थिंग, क्योंकि दैट इज व्हाट इज मदर फॉर्मूला इज इन लेबर ऑल्सो. सेम थिंग इज इन ओवरहेड, सेम थिंग इज इन प्रोसेस. Every costing chapter will give you the same formula with ingredients of that chapter. अब how to find out the numerator, what is the total labor cost to company? तो आपको जो पगार दिया जाता है उसमें एक होता है आपका बेसिक सैलरी. उसके बाद आपको मिलते हैं बहुत सारे अलाउंसेस. नाउ you'll read all this, you'll study all this in detail in income tax salary chapter. So you get many allowances, then you may get bonus, you may get commission. All these are extra payment for your गुड वर्क, फॉर योर मोर एफिशिएंट वर्क. और फिर कंपनी आपको बहुत सारे फैसिलिटीज देता है. रहने को घर दे दिया, यूज करने को गाड़ी, लैपटॉप, मोबाइल दे दिया. ये जो कंपनी आप पे खर्चा करता है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज परक्विजिट्स. एंड देन देर आर सो मेनी स्टैट्यूटरी पेमेंट्स जो कंपनी को आपके नाम पे करने पड़ते हैं, लाइक प्रोविडेंट फंड में पैसे जमा करने हैं, ईएसआईसी में जमा करने हैं. सो ये सारा खर्चा है जो कंपनी आपके ऊपर करता है, विच इज कॉल्ड एज सीटीसी. जब आपको आपका पैकेज बताया जाता है इंटरव्यू में, तो वो ये सब मिला के बताया जाता है. भले आपको हाथ में इतना पैसा नहीं मिल रहा है, क्योंकि इसमें से ये और ये तो आपके हाथ में आना ही नहीं है. ये तो आपके ऊपर खर्चा किया हुआ है फॉर प्रोवाइडिंग फैसिलिटीज, और ये जो आपके नाम पे जमा किया गया है कहीं पे. सो आपके हाथ में ये सब नहीं आता है. बट बताते वक्त हम यही बताते हैं कि कंपनी आप पे साल भर में 50 लाख रुपए खर्चा कर रहा है. सो योर सीटीसी इज 50 lakhs. और फिर हम बोलते हैं इन हैंड सैलरी इज 42 lakhs, क्योंकि उसमें से कुछ चीजें हट जाएंगी क्योंकि वो मिलेंगी नहीं. नाउ डिवाइडेड बाय व्हाट इज नॉर्मल प्रोडक्टिव आवर्स, इट इज योर लेबर आवर्स अवेलेबल माइनस नॉर्मल आइडल टाइम. सो भाई लेबर आवर्स अवेलेबल कैसे आएगा? दिन में आपको फैक्ट्री में 8 घंटे प्रेजेंट रहना है, तो 8 घंटे इज योर आवर्स अवेलेबल, मल्टीप्लाइड बाय लेटर से वर्किंग डेज आर 300. सो यानी आप साल भर में 2400 घंटे प्रेजेंट रहोगे. और ये जो पेमेंट है लेटर से ही आपके साल भर का पेमेंट है, माइनस सी दिस. मुझे मालूम है कि कोई भी वर्कर जो 8 घंटे फैक्ट्री में प्रेजेंट रहता है, वो 8 घंटे काम कर ही नहीं सकता है, बिकॉज देर इज सम टाइम विच विल बी अ ब्रेक, एंड दीज आर ऑल एक्सेप्टेबल ब्रेक्स. दीज आर ऑल नॉर्मल आइडल टाइम, जो मुझे मालूम है उतना ब्रेक होना ही है. सो ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ माई पास्ट एक्सपीरियंस, आई आइडेंटिफाई कि 8 आवर्स में से roughly 1 hour 15 minutes ये idle time है. So multiplied by again 300 days. अब इसका जो भी मुझे फिगर मिलेगा, that is the time जिसमें आप एक्चुअल में काम करने वाले हो, जिससे हम बोलते हैं प्रोडक्टिव लेबर आवर्स. और नॉर्मल मतलब जो एक्सपेक्टेड है कि इतना आप करोगे. तो ये आपका साल भर का पगार है, डिवाइडेड बाय साल भर में आप कितने आवर्स एक्चुअल में प्रोडक्टिव काम करोगे. जब मैं ये डिवाइड करूंगा तो लेटर से मुझे मिलेगा 225 पर आवर. इसका मतलब मुझे आपके लिए, आपके ऊपर 1 घंटे का 225 रुपीज का खर्चा है, इंक्लूडिंग ऑल माई एक्सपेंसेस विच आई एम गोइंग टू डू ऑन यू. अब अगर आपके 1 घंटे का मेरा प्राइस 225 है, तो अब जब मुझे लेबर कॉस्ट चार्ज करना है किसी भी जॉब को, प्रोडक्ट को, तो मुझे सिंपली ये निकालना है आपके कितने आवर्स हैं उस प्रोडक्ट के ऊपर, मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 225. तो लेटेस्ट से आपके 3.5 घंटे काम हो रहे हैं, अब ऐसे मैंने आपका निकाला, वैसे मैं हर एम्प्लॉय का यहाँ पे निकाल के चार्ज करूंगा बाय दिस फॉर्मूला, लेबर आवर्स बुक्ड multiplied by charging rate. This will give me the total labor cost जो इस प्रोडक्ट के लिए लगेगी of direct labor or of direct workers. So this is how costing or charging of labor is done. Is this clear to all students? So this is the labor cost charging part by calculating the charging rate. Good. Now we come to the most commonly asked part in the exams. तो अब ये सब कॉन्सेप्चुअल पॉइंट्स है, ये सब वो पॉइंट्स है जो आपको आपके मॉड्यूल में मिलेंगे और जो इस चैप्टर में है. नाउ आई विल टेक यू टू दैट पॉइंट विच इज मोस्टली कॉमनली आस्क्ड इन द एग्जाम्स, दैट इज लेबर वेजेस एंड इंसेंटिव प्लान्स. Now students, what is this labor wages and incentive plans? हम हमारे डायरेक्ट वर्कर्स को जो पगार दे रहे हैं, वो डायरेक्ट वर्कर्स का पगार कैसे कैलकुलेट होता है, दैट इज व्हाट इज दिस डायरेक्ट वेज लेबर वेजेस एंड इंसेंटिव प्लान्स. अब इसमें बहुत सारे प्लान्स हैं, यानी बहुत सारे फॉर्मूले हैं. उसमें से जो फॉर्मूले आपके सिलेबस में, आपके एग्जाम्स में आते हैं, वी आर गोइंग टू स्टडी दैट एंड यू हैव टू रिमेंबर द नेम एंड द फॉर्मूला. सो सबसे पहले प्लान का नाम है सिंपल टाइम रेट, या इट इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज टाइम वेजेस. इट इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज minimum wages, or it is also called as guaranteed wages plan. तो प्लान ये कॉमन वर्ड है. सो सिंपल टाइम रेट प्लान, टाइम वेज प्लान, मिनिमम वेज प्लान, गारंटीड वेज प्लान. इस तरीके से या इस पर्टिकुलर प्लान में आपका वेजेस कैसे कैलकुलेट होगा? यू हैव टू फाइंड आउट द एक्चुअल टाइम फॉर विच यू आर प्रेजेंट multiplied by your time rate. तो जैसे मैंने बोला कि आपका दिन का 8 आवर्स का शिफ्ट है, सो इट मींस यू आर प्रेजेंट फॉर 8 आवर्स मल्टीप्लाइड बाय जो भी आपका वेज रेट दिया है पर आवर. भाई आपको पर आवर 100 रुपए से पगार मिलेगा, सो आपका दिन का वेजेस हो गया ₹800 बाय द सिंपल टाइम रेट प्लान. अब इसी को टाइम वेजेस भी बोलते हैं. क्यों? बिकॉज आई एम मेकिंग पेमेंट ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ योर टाइम, कि आप कितने घंटे प्रेजेंट हो उस बेसिस पे मैं पगार दे रहा हूँ. इसको मिनिमम वेजेस भी बोलते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि जब भी आपको टाइम वेजेस से पगार मिलेगा, इन दिस केस how much you have worked is not important. Even if your production during this time is very less, you will get this amount. That is why it is called as minimum also and guaranteed also. So आपको 800 रुपए मिलने ही है. That is why this plan is also called as the minimum plan or the guaranteed plan. Oh, Aishwarya is asking what is pagar. But a pagar is the Hindi word for wages. So wages in Hindi is called as pagar. ठीक है? In different parts, see there are different words. So you get your wages by this particular formula, which is called as the simple time rate plan, time wages plan, minimum wages plan, guaranteed wages plan. Then the second method or second plan is the piece rate plan, or it is also called as the payment by result, payment by output plan. Now under this plan, how will you get your wages? Your wages is calculated by the formula actual output in units. आपने उस दिन में कितना आउटपुट बनाया मल्टीप्लाइड बाय द रेट ऑफ आउटपुट, कि मैं आपको पर यूनिट कितने रुपए देने वाला हूं. सो लेट अस से आपने आज दिन भर में जो आपका 8 घंटे का शिफ्ट था, यू हैव मेड 60 यूनिट्स एंड मेरा पर यूनिट का प्राइस जो मैंने फिक्स किया है आपको वेजेस देने का इज ₹12. सो अंडर दिस प्लान I am making payment to you by the result, that is the output that you have done. और क्योंकि यहाँ पे जो मैं रेट यूज कर रहा हूं, द रेट इज पर पीस, कि आपने एक पीस जो आपने बनाया उसका पर पीस वेजेस कितना है. सो हियर द वेज रेट इज फिक्स्ड पर पीस ऑफ आउटपुट. Let us say it is 12. So the wages that you are getting over here is ₹720. Now this is never called as minimum. Why? Because this will change every day. When you are following this plan, there is no guarantee how much you are going to get. Your this wages will fluctuate every day, and that is why this plan is many times not suitable. Why? Because today we have all these labor unions, trade unions. So they generally do not prefer this plan, and that is why practically आप ये वाले plan ज़्यादा सुनोगे ही नहीं. Many cases you will find that they are paid on the basis of time only. So what happens when they are paid on the basis of time? आपका इतना पगार फिक्स है, irrespective of आपने आउटपुट आज कितना किया, because on daily basis your output will fluctuate, may fluctuate, but still your wages remain same if you are following this plan, and that is why it is called as minimum or guaranteed wage plan. But in this, your wages are fluctuating daily. Then there is a third plan, which is called as piece rate with guaranteed wage. So तीसरे प्लान का नाम क्या है? Piece rate with guaranteed wages. Now answer for this is simply higher of 1 and 2. तो ये प्लान क्या है? मैंने आपका पीस वर्क वाला ही प्लान रखा है, यानी ये वाला प्लान रखा है, पर आपको ये भी बोला है कि आपको मैं गारंटीड वेजेस तो दूंगा ही, यानी आपको इतना पगार तो मिनिमम मिलेगा. सो योर प्लान इज पीस रेट, बट द वेजेस विच आई एम रेडी टू गिव यू इज मिनिमम दिस मच. So how do you find out the answer for this particular plan is, you find out wages by both the plans. So this is by the time rate, this is by the piece rate. Whichever is higher is your answer. Correct? Students, I hope all formulae up to this point are clear with everyone. Anybody, any questions? Please put it across. Okay, so many of you are saying it is clear, no doubts. Good. Now coming to some different type of plans. So the next plan which we are dealing with is also coming under the category of premium bonus plans. Now under this, the next plan, which is fourth in our list, is the Halsey plan. Now under Halsey plan, you have to understand premium bonus plans give you wages by this format. So they give you the time wages, that is the wages by the first plan, plus something extra which they call as bonus. So this is how these plans will give you the wages. So it is called as premium bonus plans. So you are getting your time wages plus some premium plus some bonus. Now, what is the formula of your time wages? It is your actual time into time rate. Now I'll be using the short form. So for actual time, I will use the short form as AT, just for the purpose of simplicity. And for time rate, I'll use the word TR. So 80 and TR. Now, pay attention because something interesting and something new is coming up. So now there is a concept which is called as time saved, short form TS. Now to understand this plan, you'll have to first understand what is time saved, because for these plans, you need to understand this concept. Now, what is this time saved concept? Now, time saved is difference between two times. First, standard time, let us call it as ST. Actual time, let us call it as AT. The difference between the two is called as time Now, this standard time is also called as time allowed. Actual time is also called as time taken. Now, what is this, students? Let us understand this conceptually. So in today's class, we are only understanding the conceptual part. Next whole class will be the solving class. Now, every employer fixes some time within which the employer wants you to complete the work. Like in our office also, in CA office also, now we have the prime season of income tax returns, where we are calculating the income tax, we are finding out how much tax is to be paid. For this, we have to do accounting, we have to do all types of income tax workings. Now, in my mind, I have an idea as to how much time should be required for that client's income tax work. Now, let us say the client is a small grocery shop. Now, my past experience has told me that it should take 3 hours, maximum 3 hours, to complete that particular client's workings of income tax. So I will tell my staff that, boss, I am allowing you this much time to complete the work. So the time which I am giving to my staff as a target, boss, this is the time in which the work has to be done. It is called as standard time. Now, if my staff is efficient, if my staff is very focused and doing the work sincerely, he may complete the work in only 2.5 hours. So he will come back to my cabin in 2.5 hours, giving me all the calculations done. Now, for me, what work generally should be done in 3 hours has been done by this particular person in 2.5 hours. So for me, he has given me a benefit by saving 0.5 hours of his time. Now, when he has saved 0.5 hours of his time, means I can give him the next file for the next work. So this is what is the concept of time saved. So time saved is, in technical terms, standard time minus actual time. In simpler terms, how much time the employer allows you, or he has given the target, your work should be done in this time, and actually how much time you have taken to do that work. That difference is the time saved. Yes, Gunjan, you are right. Out of so many plans, the businessman decides what is most suitable according to the nature of business, according to their labor policies, and one of the plans is selected. Yes, Hina, I'm coming to your question. Now, I have different staffs, I have different articles, and I have many such clients for whom I know that the time required should be 3 hours. Now, this is, let us say, of Mr. A. Now, I have another article, Mr. B, who has taken 4 hours for doing this. Maybe because the person is new, maybe because the person is slightly distracted with mobile and Insta and all. So, not very focused and hence very slow, doing the work leniently. So he takes 4 hours. So he comes back to me after 4 hours. So for me, he has not saved any time, rather he has consumed extra time. But for the purpose of our calculation, we will treat the time saved as nil. For me, this is the efficient worker. For me, this is the inefficient worker. Now, the logic is simple. The worker who is efficient should be given bonus. How? So I will, anyways, I'm paying him for 8 hours for which he or she is present, plus whatever time this person is saving. Now, how he's saving? By completing the work faster. So in other words, he is giving me that much extra time to work. So he's working indirectly extra for me. So I'm making payment to him even for this time saved. So for these premium bonus plans, we will be finding out the time saved of all the workers given in the exam problem by the formula standard time minus actual time. And then I will use the formula. Now, Halsey says that you make payment for the time wages, that is actual time into time rate. This is done. And as bonus, you give them some extra wages even for the time they have saved. So how will I find out the wages for the time saved? So it is the time saved multiplied by time rate. Now, Halsey says give him 50% of this as bonus. So Halsey will give you 50% of this. Now in Halsey, there is one more plan called as Halsey-Weyer plan, where the entire plan is same. The only thing is this person says give him 30% of this. So he's saying give him 30% of this. Now in all exam problems, if they are only saying Halsey and nothing else, you will always use the 50% wala option. And then the last plan, students, very interesting plan is called as Rowan plan. Now for Rowan plan, the formula is actual time into time rate. So this is the time wages. And interestingly, the interesting part is the bonus. For bonus, Rowan says again take the time wages. Here we were taking the time saved wages in Halsey. Here it is saying take the wages only, but multiplied by an interesting ratio, which is time saved upon standard time. So the ratio to be taken over here is what is special. So the ratio is in numerator, you will take the time saved. In denominator, you will take the standard time. So these are broadly the 4, 5, 6 plans which we will be using in our sums to get the answers. Correct? So these are the different wages plans by which you will be calculating your wages. Is this clear to everyone, students? Anybody, any questions, any doubts with any of these plans? No? Gunjan beta, TR is time rate. So where we are making payment on the basis of time, our payment or our wages is fixed per hour. So number of hours you are present multiplied by the per hour wages. That per hour wages is called as time rate. Piece rate, Rajveer beta, means rate per unit. So if you are making 20 units, I will make you payment for 20 units because my wage rate fix is, let us say, rupees 12 per piece. So if you are making 20 pieces, 20 units, so I'll multiply it by 12 rupees. So piece rate is where my wages is fixed per unit of output. Time rate is where my wages is fixed per hour. That is the difference between time rate and piece rate. Because which is the best plan, that we will come to know in the next class when we'll solve the practical sums. But if I have to give you a proper answer, the proper plan is the Rowan plan, the best plan generally considered as Rowan. But still, depending upon the nature of business, depending upon the type of production, you can select other plans also. But generally, Rowan is considered as the best plan. Super. Excellent. Students understood? Everyone? Right? Great. So this is all about the labor chapter. Yes, Anand.
Sir, am I audible to you?
You are now audible, beta.
Okay. Sir, for the exam point of view, sir, in incentive systems, we have to go through with Halsey and Halsey-Weir system and Rowan system only.
See, in exams, you will be mentioned which plan has to be used. You will be using strictly only that plan, or in other words, that formula for calculating your wages.
Okay.
So your wages calculation will be depending on the plan.
Okay. Fine, sir.
Correct? Understood?
Yes,
So I
sir.
hope your question is answered.
Yes, sir.
Riddhi says Halse second plan is not in study material. Yes, Riddhi, see, that's what I'm saying. See what happens. Different books gives different plans. I'm just informing you because maybe at times they may say Halse where or Halse 30%. So at that time, you should not get confused. Gunjan Devi, see, Halse one is the bonus plan. So whenever you have to give bonus besides the wages, you use these plans and the bonus is given on the basis of the time saved. Correct, beta? Anand, please mute yourself. Yes, Mustafa, tell me. I'm able to unmute you. Can someone please unmute Mustafa? No, Himanshi, this will not happen. You will be given the name of the plan because different plans have different answers. So definitely question has to specify the plan. So don't worry. They specify the plan which has to be used. Mustafa, I'm not able to unmute you. I don't know why. Technical team, can you please unmute Mustafa? Generally, I was able to unmute till now, but now I'm also not able to unmute him. I don't know why. Okay, so have you sent the prompt? Please send the prompt. Okay. Okay. So, but if your mic is not working, then you may type your question. What is the second plan name? Second plan name is better piece wages. It is also called as payment by result. It is also called as payment by output plan. So the name of the second plan is piece rate plan, payment by result plan, payment by output plan. Fine, beta? So students, that's it. That is all for today. Let us catch up in the next class with practical sums on this concept. So thank you, students. Thank you very much. Please study this chapter from module, complete the theory part, and you can come back with your doubts on the theory part in the next class. Yes, beta Himanshi, time rate, piece rate, everything is there. Just go through the module once, right? Thank you all. It was really great session with you all, very interactive. Keep attending physical so that you will understand more. You can immediately get your doubts cleared. Also, generally, when you are attending physical, it is always more disciplined because when you say, I will see the virtual recorded class later, generally that later never comes. Or then you end up watching entire thing in one go, which is then too much in one at one time. So then conceptually it is not clear. So it is always better for better discipline and better results. You should attend the class live. Sir, plan year to year change ho sakta hai. Yes, Gunjan, see, it is purely these decisions are the management decisions, which is based on other factors like what is your trade union policy. Also, if that is changing, you will change the plan. Fine. Yes, madam. Thank you, Mustafa. Thank you all. So let us catch up again next class. Thank you. Nisarg ji, thank you very much.